especially like through my development stage, freshman all the way to senior year. I just wish I would have been on that side of town maybe and then got to connect with you guys. I definitely felt like it would have helped me a lot.
Welcome to the OneEyed Scout Show, where it ain't for everybody, but it's for those who live the lifestyle. Tonight we got a guest who's been putting in the work, developing basketball players the right way, and building something steady. And we're going to have Coach Arnold, the founder of Arnold Elite, and we're talking development, the real grind, and what it takes to stand out. Come on in, Coach. Yeah,
How we
man, I'm
doing?
excited to have you here, bro. I really am.
Thank you, man. I appreciate being on your
Um,
platform. It's a pleasure.
yeah, so Phil, go ahead and jump in, man. But Coach, I wanted to ask you. Let's start here. How did Arnold Elite come together, and what were those early years like?
Man, we started off in 2016 as SA Elite, and I started off with a partner, and me and a partner started off, basically with local kids and just competing around the city. And this thing started to grow. It just kept growing, man. We started with one team, and then it went up to about 4 or 5. And he had a different vision. He wanted to go only the best players, elite only, and I wanted to go
Hmm.
beginner to elite. So me and him parted ways in 2017, and Arnold Elite became the name. And it wasn't about me. I'm not selfish or big headed like that. It was a mom. A mom suggested that because at the time we were SA Elite, and there were almost 8 SA Elites in San Antonio. And it was SA Select, SA Premier, SA this, SA that. So we went with a different name. I used my last name for a quick fix, and it stuck. We started winning a couple Gassos and did pretty well. So.
you know, I've been around. Well, whether you know it or not, I've been around the city for about 20 years, and in and out of gyms, man. And I remember uh, seeing you probably in those early days as you were coming along. Never the San Antonio Elite. I always remember the
Yeah.
Arnold Elite. Um, but 2017 was a launch, and you kind of got into it a little bit about why you got started with Arnold Elite. But even back with San Antonio Elite, like what did you see about the scene that drew you into uh, creating a program?
Man, it was a need that I seen. There was a gap in AAU out here. Everybody said that they were an AAU team, but nobody traveled. So, and, you had a couple programs, which Lupe Nunez over at Hard Work, he was the main one, and then you had Sabo with Jim Stewart, but those were like the only real guys that were out there really running and gunning. And then of course you got Mo at Next Level Raiders. Mo is one of my role models that I kind of followed through this thing, and I talked to Boo Man and Pooty and all those guys, but those were the only 3 programs. It was Next Level Raiders, Hard Work, and Sabo. It was nobody really out here in my area, in the Church, Cibolo, Universal City, New Braunfels area. So I
Hmm.
created this program for those kids, and it took off, man. And we wanted to really travel, and we wanted to go out of state, show these guys down here in the 210 and out there that the 2110 kids can play ball and they can compete. And we're just not a point guard university out here in San Antonio. We got some shooters, we got some wings, we got some 3-and-D guys, we got some stretch fours, but they just got to get seen. So that was the reasoning
Hmm.
why I did what I did in 2017, and I don't regret it, man. I don't regret it at all. So.
That's good, man. You definitely got some shooters with those Hill boys, but
Yeah.
but you know, one thing I respect about what you've done and what you said, it's always been development first,
Yeah.
and it's not just a buzzword in your program, but what does that development look like inside Arnold Elite?
I think the beauty about us is layers to every step. So when you come into Arnold Elite in third grade, fourth grade, or fifth grade, you're dealing with our developmental coach, which is Coach Kevin Williams. And then you graduate to the middle school level where you come to me, or you're going to come to Coach J.R. Harris, you're going to come to Coach Hugo Lozano. And then when you get to the high school level, now you're dealing with me specifically, and you're dealing with Coach Travis Crane, the former head coach at Marble Falls High School. You got all these brilliant minds on staff, but no matter where you're at in the program, you never feel like you're not gaining elevation in knowledge of the game, because every year you're seeing a different way of play, a different way of life, on the road, off the road, in the game, at practice, because it's different coaching tandems at each level. So I think that's what kind of separated me apart. I see these guys, they get a team in fourth grade and they want to stay with them until they graduate. But well, where's the mental growth, right? Like, if he's only had you as a coach, he only knows one voice. And as you guys know, the same voice gets annoying. We got to switch it up. So, I've been blessed to have people that see my vision. And you don't make a lot of money in this AAU thing. You don't get in this to make money. You get in this to make sure you change lives, where kids can call back and say, "Hey, coach, I'm in town. Can I get into practice? Can I get in the gym?" Or you build those relationships that bring other things into fruition. So, and we got those guys on staff. These guys here, they're doing it for pennies on the dollar. And I mean, and they got my back, and I got their back. And once the goal is met, the goal is met.
One thing that I've always believed and trusted and tried to impart upon people is that just how powerful basketball is. Like,
Yeah,
they talk about education being the way out of poverty, and I agree with that. But when you start looking at uh, getting kids out of projects, getting kids out of an education, you know,
yeah.
there's nothing that beats basketball. You know, do you have or have you had the opportunity for a nationally ranked player, or is that still on the horizon?
Man, we've been blessed with two, man. We had a kid named Zari Blackwood, and Zari Blackwood was out of Killeen, Texas. He went to Holy
Hmm.
Trinity private school, and he went D1. He went to New Mexico State and played D1, and he was ranked top 200 in his class in 2019, and he was also in Gasso top 100. He was a dude. He was that guy, man. I think he averaged 31 points a game in his senior year. He was
Sheesh.
he was a guy, man. And matter of fact, talking about building relationships, he went D1. Things didn't pan out the way it should have panned out. He ended up being one of the few D2 players to get an NIL deal. So he's out in Georgia right now, at a school out in Georgia. I forget the name, but we got like 40 kids in college right now. But
Yeah.
this kid, bro, he was our first ranked player, and then we ended up getting Kellen Jedlicka out of Alaska. So Kellen Jedlicka, mom, military family, and we all knew each other
Yeah.
for a while, and they used to fly him down for the summer for 5 years in a row to stay with me while they lived in
Wow.
Alaska, and he was the Gatorade player of Alaska in 2024. And you can look him up. It's Kellen Jedlicka. He had a couple low D1, high D2 offers because of the COVID
Yeah.
thing. But if he was born in 1995, oh, he'd be a D1 player. But he was just born in the wrong era where COVID existed, and we got 25-year-old grown men playing ball still. So you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
Hey, you know what, man? So I think that you've kind of figured out. Like, this next question I'm about to throw at you is,
Okay.
how do you preach patience to parents and players in a microwave culture? Not sure where you just went, but
I think we lost him.
Phil, it was really interesting. It was a nice question that was thrown up there about the nationally ranked players.
Right.
And to the point of that, those parents like sending their kid down here for 5 years.
Yeah, it,
You
it
know,
speaks to credibility. I will tell you that.
yeah.
uh,
You know, go ahead.
um, well, no, I had a, a couple of questions for the
Mm.
coach. He was actually going through and making me cross lines through some of my questions because he was
Yeah.
answering them as he spoke. But
Hmm.
uh, I wanted to ask you. It was a question that was last week, and it was talking about how some players on your show last week about how some
Hmm.
players didn't show up and some players did show up. And I think the question was really like, did they? Well, because part of the thing of they showed up because they put in the work basically, and some
Hmm.
didn't showed up, but it was obvious they didn't put in the work. Now, it also could it be that maybe they did put in the work, but they had, you know, they were playing at their optimum ability. That
Yeah.
yeah, and it just got exposed. It got revealed that you know, hey, this is where you are.
No, I agree with that. I think it's a combination of all three, uh, because there's definite, they call them ceilings and floors,
Coaches
Yeah,
different.
for different players, and you never really know, um, what where you're at until you've topped out.
yeah,
And talking about like rankings and the different services. I
sure,
mean,
right,
uh,
yeah,
Coach
because
Arnold talked about the
mhm,
Gasso service, the Gasso rankings of the
yeah,
top 100.
yeah. Yeah, that's
When
so
you,
true, Kevin. Like how some people have, they have high floors but low
mhm.
ceilings, uh,
Yeah,
and it kind of, shows that point, and like you say, gets exposed when it's with the the true uh, the true elite player. I hope we get Coach back on because
yeah,
I really like you know his vision and where he was at
mhm.
with this conversation. And one of the things I wanted to know, and he answered it, was I wanted to know what age group
Here he comes.
he
I'm bringing him
started
back.
working with. And then when he mentioned
Yeah,
about the different coaches working at different developmental levels,
mhm.
one of the things just from in his mission and things, Coach, how are you doing? I have
Good,
a
good.
question for
Sorry
you.
about that.
Um, and
Oh, we're good.
and in talking about in your mission about how great coaches build trust, right? How do you all go about establishing that trust in the players? You know how they say that player will run through a brick wall for that coach. How do you do that?
Man, I think it started by just being honest with the player and assessing where they're at in their journey in basketball. And it starts at a young age. Like you're more accessible as a club coach if you grab a kid at 12 years old, 11 years old, right? Because you're his first entry point into this club scene. So anything you tell him is gold, right? But
Right.
but by telling him the truth and being honest with where he's at in his assessment in life on the basketball court will further that relationship. And I think a lot of these kids, they're yearning for that. And a lot of these programs and so it's not all coaches. It's some coaches. A lot of these coaches tell a kid what they think they want to hear instead of telling them what they need to hear. And I think that's probably what's always got me successful and what's got me in trouble is I'm telling you what you need to hear. And a lot of these kids, it's funny, man. Out of ten, man, 8 out of 10, they always come back and say, Coach Arnold, you're my best coach. And I tell people all the time, you got one kid that probably hate me, one kid that think my style wasn't the best, I can't coach it, but the other eight were successful.
Yeah.
And I can live with
It,
80.
it, yeah. If I could follow up on that with in like you mentioned about because you're honest with them, and I'm from
Yeah.
how does that go over with the parent a lot of the times?
It starts with the parents too. If you can have that relationship with those parents of the honesty up front, it makes it so much better. and it's sad, man. You see a lot of it, especially with the single parent households where it's my baby can do no wrong and this and that or whatever friction it may be. But when you got a two parent household, man, and both parties are involved, and you start to see the difference, and you're like, wow, like it's easy because with a single parent household, either the parents involved or they're not. And
Right.
then with a two parent household, they're both involved because they're there and they're being there, or one's not involved, but the other one is. Like no matter what, you're gonna have someone there involved and understanding what we're trying to do. And man, it's such a blessing when coach parents walk through here. Like when I get a high school coach and their kids playing for me, I don't even have to lie and sugarcoat none of that crap, bro. Like they're like, hey, Coach, we know what it is, man. He's a JV player. We got it, man. Just make sure you have some fun. I'm like, all right, like, we're good. We're good. So, yeah.
So, what all, like, take us through some of the culture building that you do within your program beyond wins and losses? I mean, you
Yeah.
talked about telling the truth, you talked about those type of things, but what do you think are really your tent poles for culture building?
Man, for us, our culture building is kind of weird. Like a lot of these guys, they want to be the D1 program. Like all my kids go D1, D2. Dude, I embraced the D3. So I think I was the first program to say, no, you want to go D3, come here. And that was kind of our motto. Like, hey, we're not good like these other programs out here. We're developing D3 and NAIA players that at schools you never heard of. And we kind of got our motto like that in 2017, 18, and 19. And then we struck gold with Zyrie Blackwood when he went D1. But
Hmm.
building that trust, man, in our program was all about the development side, but also about the travel side and making sure that they're being seen. There's so many San Antonio tournaments I could do where there's not a college coach there, right? It's so many made in China trophies and rings that I don't need no more of. Like my house is flooded with those trophies. I don't need no more, right? So I sat down with my people and I said, what are we trying to obtain? And so what we did was we went on a prep hoop circuit. I called up Blue Tucci and Ryan Maz at Gasso, and I went on the Gasso circuit. I called up my boy Alex Kalinsky at the circuit in Dallas. I called up what's my guy up there, Chase V over at Made Hoops, and I said, put me on the circuit, let me get my butt whooped, and I want to see the best, right? And we're gonna lose a couple kids as we do that because everybody wants to win and everybody wants to take pictures, but what we found out was kids were like, "Oh, we're on the main court. We're playing these guys that we see on Twitter and Instagram." Like, "Oh wow, so this program is really paying the money to go see this. We're not paying cell phone bills with your monthly check, right?" So it's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
it was kind of the key of it, man, and it was great, man. I loved it. I loved it, dude, and I'm loving our process. We're in year 9, and it's awesome, dude. It's awesome. So
Yeah. Well, talk to us about a little bit about the pipeline. Any
yeah.
specific age groups or squads people should keep an eye on this summer?
Man, our 2026 group with Chase Hill, we got Tremel Scott from Harlan, Chase Hill from Reagan, the Cole Hill from Reagan. We got Makai Baker from Harlan. We got a couple kids out there from Hondo. We got a kid named AJ Bussey from Sotomayor, the point guard that was on varsity this year. Real young talent. I'm very
Yeah.
excited what he does because I mean, he's a sophomore and he commands the floor on varsity as a sophomore already over there.
Yeah,
You know, he does.
I'm familiar with that family through the sister. She
Yeah,
works
man.
out over there with JC and them.
So
Yeah.
we
I didn't
ended
mean to
up
cut
getting
you off.
no, you're good now. We ended up having their one of his oldest nephews, Justin Bussey, who came through our
Mm.
program 4 years ago, man, and that's how we got AJ. AJ reached out, his dad reached out and said, "Hey, you have my nephew," and he went to go play ball in Iowa, and I was like, "What's his last name?" He's like, "Bussey. He played for you for 2 years." I was like, "Oh yeah, I know Justin from
Mm.
Brennan High School. He's with Cody Cowgill." So we ended up having him, and our pipeline starts with that, our 26 group, and then we trickle down to our 28s and our 27s are pretty good. They're still kind of green around the ear, but our eighth grade group, our 29s group, man, we got some boys. We got Nate White. He'll be going to Brandeis. Powerful force. He should probably be on varsity as a freshman. Vander Hemmings. He's right now at a private school. He's probably going to land at Cornerstone. He was going to go to St.
Mm-hmm.
Mary's Hall, where I was currently working at last year. But since I'm no longer there, he's not going to go there. Brandon Wilson, he left St. Mary's Hall when I departed from there. He's at Cornerstone now. And we got some boys, man. We got that 29 group. Brian Helms going to Canyon High School. Cameron Hood, he's going to Canyon High School, New Braunfels Canyon. Like, we got some studs going 5A and 6A, so I'm really excited. Really excited.
But Coach,
Yeah.
I got a question
Yeah.
because I'm looking at it. It seems like you've got a wonderful program, and I can see why people would be wanting to flock there. How do you decide? How do you decide who's going to be there to get your development?
Man, it's all about that sit down. We recruit the players, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
be real with you. I recruit the parents, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm recruiting parents to see, are you willing to sacrifice that summer vacation to go to Dallas 5 times? Like, are you willing to go to Kansas? Are you willing to go to Kansas City and go be seen, right? And it starts with the parents because they're the one that's funding this thing.
Right.
But also we look at the development from middle school at your school. Are you a two-sport athlete? Are you a specialized sport athlete where basketball is your only thing? Me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe in our kids playing multiple sports.
Right.
I tell my kids, you need to pick up a golf club in the spring, a tennis racket, or you need to be at the track. Like, I don't need you being specialized only in basketball, because what if basketball don't make, right? You need to have a backup plan, which academically you are, but let's be honest, a lot of these kids, their fuel to get A's and B's are because they're playing something, right? So we got to fuel that. And to fuel that, I need you doing something else, because this thing might not work, man. Like you might be the best shooter in New Braunfels, but it's another guy in San Marcos that's better than you, and he took your spot, right? And now with this, this 2-year back thing for JUCO, it hurts a
Right.
lot of players, man. It hurts. So I think I think with me seeing that vision and being honest with kids up front, hey, go play football, go play basketball, do both, because there's about 55 spots on the football roster. There's 15 on basketball, and
Yeah.
I'm a numbers guy, man. It ain't hard to do them numbers. So yeah.
Well, Coach, where can folks find and follow Arnold Elite and stay in the
Man,
loop with what's going on?
yeah, man, we got an active Instagram. We got somebody running that for us. They do a good job of that. We have a Twitter profile that somebody's running for us as well, at Elite Arnold. The Instagram tag is San Antonio Arnold Elite, and then also Facebook. Man, we got Arnold Elite, San Antonio Arnold Elite on Facebook as well. We're on every platform except for TikTok. We don't have a TikTok, but we have
Mm.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We have a website as well now, that got uploaded last year in 24. We had one in 2020, but it was horrible, and we hired a new team to come in and revamp that, make it a little bit more refreshing. And we've also launched this cool thing now that we're doing, where we don't charge our kids when we have random families that inquire. We don't charge families to come out for practice for like the first month. We just let them come out, enjoy it, see if you like it or not, see if the thing is for you. Because in AAU, it's so many guys. Like, when I see a tryout and it says $20 tryout fee or $5 tryout fee, I'm like, dude, that's a red flag right there, bro. Like, why? Like, I get it, you gotta pay for the gym, but why not? Why are you trying to get this kid? You trying to retain this kid? How you gonna retain a kid? And he, in the back of his mind, he might be cut when he gives you that $20, right? Like, you don't know what this
Yeah.
kid is about. So growing up, I grew up around real ones. Coach Dunkley that runs Rhythm, he was my first basketball coach. And Coach Dunkley, man, he's a real guy, man. He used to bring the Gatorades, the water. He used to buy all that crap and never ask for a dime. He used to have open gyms, and Coach Dunkley was one of my mentors. Is the reason why I became a head coach, man, and good
Yeah, I
guy.
like him a lot, man. He's a good guy. He's good.
Love
Go
him,
ahead,
man. I
Phil.
love him. You said
Well,
what?
well, Coach, you definitely look. Look, if I could go back 50 plus years, I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to
Yes,
see you.
sir.
What do
Yes,
you say
sir.
about to the naysayers, or do you even bother with it when you have the ones like Matt Hollowell who says it's all a money grab?
Man, I tell people this all the time. In the AAU, when you travel, and I tell parents to do this, when you travel to a Made Hoops event, at wherever you're at, right, at the Hy-Vee Arena in Kansas City, right, when you touch down, I tell parents, walk in the gym, pay your $50 for your wristband, close your eyes, and then open them back up and look at how so many other mom and dads are paying that $50 because it's a method to the madness, right? AAU is a evil necessity that we need now, but finding the right program that's not a money grab is key.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, I think we're one of the cheapest. We charge $200 a month, and it's like 2 tournaments, covers your practice fees, everything covers your tournament fee. We don't charge tournament fees. I know some programs they do 200 a month plus $50 per tournament, right? For us, my coaches, I can generally say my coaches are here not for the money, right? And we've attracted beautiful people that care about the youth, right? Now, we got some hard asses like me that we're gonna cut your kid out if he's BSing. We're gonna get on him, right? But our parents know that we genuinely love their kid, and we will swipe our credit card at a drop of a dime for their kid, and that's the key. And our parents, they see that, they look around, they go, "Man, we're not the only craziest ones. We're paying for flights, we're paying for this and that." When they go in the gym, they're like, "Wow, there's other parents doing what we're doing." And I think it's a necessity, man. We need AAU. It needs to be governed better, like soccer. I do agree by that, but it's too many people in the pot, too many kitchens, too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody wants to, Nike. You see it on the circuit. Nike is EYBL. Then you got Adidas 3SSB. Then you got Under Armour UA. Then you got Puma. Then you got New Balance. They're like I told somebody the other day, man, these circuits are cool, but I don't remember when I was coming up. It was AAU. That's all it was, man. And it was AAU. It was governed, and you had to have an AAU card. You had to be licensed. You had to be registered. Now you could be playing a 20-year-old that's a holdback, that's a junior, and you know damn sure he ain't paying because he's 6'8", 6'9". But the other kid that's 6 foot, that little Joey that can't even dribble the ball, he's paying full price, but he's paying for the
Right.
kid that's over there. So it's a racket, man. It's a racket, and I don't think it'll ever get fixed until the NBA or the
Yeah.
NCAA steps in. So
Matt, I hope that answers your statement.
Well, Coach Arnold, man, much love, man. I really appreciate you getting on.
yeah,
You're building something real. We see it, and I know you joined us before practice, so we're gonna go ahead and let you go over to your practice, man, and you're welcome anytime.
Look, Coach, we
yes, sir.
look so happy to have you come here. I appreciate everything that you said today. Now,
Yeah,
you're visiting us. Is there
yeah.
any way that we could ever visit one of your sessions?
Oh yeah, definitely. You guys are always welcome. We have our lower school practices at St. Mary's University, and then we also have our high school and middle school practices at Trinity University. Sometimes we're at Our Lady of the Lake with Coach Thompson and Coach BJ over there. They take care of us as well, and you guys are welcome. It's an open practice. We actually had a couple of high school coaches come out just to watch actually recently because they were hearing good things about the way we're running practices, and it's like a real school practice. When you come in here, it's like, whoa, these guys are getting after it. We got yoga. We got a yoga instructor that comes out here twice a week. We got a skills and developmental coach that comes out here once a week. I mean, we're trying to do things the right way. So when kids get to Coach Hall at Harlan, when they get to Coach Hurst at Reagan, they're not new to certain drills. They know what we're doing. They know the terminology. They know what a lift is. They know what a DHO is. They know the 45 off the arc. They know all these things, point action, throwback. They know all these things. So that's why we do what we do. And it's been a blessing, man. I can't. I tell people all the time, dude. I get paid to do what I love and be around kids and make fun of kids that can't shoot better than me. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, I told you we're gonna be out there.
Yes, sir.
I just gotta get through this week. You know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, we appreciate you.
Yep.
You know, before we get out, man, we're gonna talk about this weekend a little bit.
Yeah.
As we're gonna get out of here, but we're gonna talk about the weekend because we're headed down to Duncanville for the
Nice.
Gasso Spring Championships,
Ah,
and I know that Arnold Elite's gonna be there. You know, we just talked about it, and showing what development's gonna look like. So
Yep.
excited about that. Excited because of 3D Empire.
Yeah.
We got our man, God dog, it, Mason Thomas
Yeah.
from Piper. You
Yep.
know, he's getting a chance to play his natural position, and then
Yeah.
go up there and we're gonna watch Jamal Shea Elite.
Yeah.
You know, we got a couple of guys, Red and Hubs on the 17s, and then we got a guy from East Central, Will Franklin,
Yeah.
on that 16s group.
Yep.
But man, we're gonna be locked in this weekend,
Yeah.
and where kids get to make a name with Gasso, and somebody's gonna earn their spot on the
Yeah.
5 guys that caught my eye.
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate everybody from tapping in. Until
Yeah.
next time, stay focused, stay motivated, and remember, it ain't for everybody.
Hey, real quick before we go,
Yeah.
this weekend, make sure you guys check out my 4 players that I want y'all to look at. They're really good. Chase Hill, Cole Hill, Tramel Scott, and Makai Baker. Take a look at those
I
guys.
got you.
Also, it's a young buck up the ranks, sophomore named CJ Steamer. He is good, man. He's
Oh, I
athletic,
actually know CJ.
bro.
Yeah.
He is, man. That kid makes me so happy to have him, dude. Like it's such a pleasure to coach a kid like that, dude. He's just a
Yeah.
good kid, good family man, and I love CJ. CJ's doing a good job for us, man. Real good kid.
Good deal. No, I like the family, and I've seen CJ work out with us over
Yeah.
at the doghouse sometimes, so I know he's not afraid of work.
No, he's not. He's not. He's afraid of me though. When I come to practice, shoot that 3. He be running from me, man.
All right, man. Well, let's all get out of here.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
again. I'll see you Saturday.
I see you, man. Y'all be safe up on the road, man.
all
See y'all
right,
Saturday.
Coach. Great,
Yes,
All
great
right,
sir.
man.
interview.
See you,
Thank you.
Phil. Yes, sir. See y'all. All right, bye.
All right.
All right.
Said I was just like how you guys seen it, you know what I mean? Like especially like through my development stage, like, you know, freshman all the way to senior year. I just wish I would have been on that side of town maybe and then got to connect with you guys. I definitely felt like it would have helped me a lot.
Hey y'all, it's Key from my show, The Key to Another.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Coach Kiso, Chronicles of the Hardwood, episode number 3.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt from Chronicles of the Hardwood here on TAAN TV.